Hey, this is Freewave, music archaeologist, genre nerd, and Rate Your Music Box Set organizer. I am doing week 4 of my updates. The updates have kind of, it's nice to do. It's something for the channel. I don't know if anyone's really watching them yet, so I don't know. This might be the last one. I might have to do something a little bit differently. But I'm going to go ahead and do this week's just to finish up January. And then usher in February. If you will take a look, let me go ahead. There's some people who told me that they use a phone versus a website, and this is, your website view. If you do something like a phone view, you're going to get something very different, where it's each one of these as you scroll down. When your website view, you can pull up set updates here. If you're seeing this on a phone and you're like, well, how do I get your updates or so? Go to, the very first one you're going to see is what is the, you have up here news videos, tells about the dates. But you have Twitter or Reddit and stuff like that. By the way, please subscribe to those because it's very imperative if you want updates and you have Twitter and you have Reddit that I have someone to tweet or do Reddit posts to. But you have updates on here. And that's going to pull that up. We are finishing up January, so I'm going to probably move news over here, and this will give you news on the project. By the way, if you click on this, actually, if you click on this is just a picture. But all of January, so if you want to see, we have covered all the previous weeks through here on the previous 3 weeks updates. So we're going to basically just finish up the week. The last week of January is the 4th week on here, and then we'll just see what happens on there. These are short. These short little videos are supposed to be quick, but a lot of the time something that's less than 10 minutes of me talking about might take an hour or 2 hours to sort of prep a video, and then if it gets like 25 views, then it's not really doing a whole lot. But something for the channel. So if you do like it, obviously comment. And it's really important on something like this. If you can tweet it out, if you can tell your friends about it, or if you can assist with it, if you want to help with playlists, if you see a particular genre is not covered yet and you think you can help out and work on it, by God, all means, this is sort of a group project. Obviously, I am the big Ford truck pulling along a lot of these genre sets, and it's great to do what you love, even if it's a lot of work, but by all means I could use a lot of help. And one of the things that you can do, we do have a Discord channel, and so if you go on the Discord channel, there's a lot of cool things going on here where we give updates, we tell about what's going on, playlists and such, and it's this is a great place to talk and sort of volunteer for stuff, or see where you can help out, or just get news on what's going on. Help out or hang out is what we recommend. So either of those things are really good. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the last updates from this last week of February. We have Political Hip Hop. This was a set by Armed and Harmless, and also John 10 Player. We're working on this. And then we have everything from, starting at Grandmaster Flash, and then we have KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, Public Enemy, Ice-T, and then we get on the Paris, Ice Cube, X-Clan. I threw in some last-minute recommendations to the set because we had room, and I thought there were a couple of missions, like Immortal Technique and some of these guys. But this is a really nice hip-hop set that really goes into the political hip-hop, which is sort of something we've always needed here. So that is added to the RYM Box Set. And always we have playlists on my channel, so you should be able to check those out. Next we have drum and bass. We are still finishing up the whole drum and bass parent. We decided to do subgenres of that last month, and we've been chipping away at that. We're more than halfway done, but we still have some sets to do. Liquid Funk is a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and pull that up, and probably the most listenable to non-drum and bass heads. It's probably the most calmed down, kind of where atmospheric drum and bass died out, and then this sort of took it over, where it's got a little bit of jazz, funk, soul, and it's very listenable sort of song-based stuff a lot of the time. So really nice, lush, music. So it started with Fabio, but then Caliber, High Contrast, London Electricity, New Tone, Logistics sort of took over. So this was a really nice set. I wasn't terribly familiar with it coming in, but I think a lot of people who don't normally get into drum and bass would really enjoy it because it really holds up as a whole. And it's very album-oriented, which is something that you normally can't say for a lot of drum and bass. So I would definitely check that out. I'm going to zip up here and just do one more drum and bass category. And this is sort of starting at the very beginning. You know, if you take a look at drum and bass, you know, right before it is breakbeat hardcore, which sort of is the rave era and breakbeat, and then it sort of speeds up, it gets darker, less, you know, less sort of rave elements and a lot of changing stuff quickly, and goes to jungle, and then it becomes drum and bass. So this really goes into those changes here. And this is technically sort of two different elements in one set. So keep that in mind. It's Darkcore, which is really sort of the darker side of jungle and drum and bass coming out, staying away from sort of the cheesy elements. And it's also sort of jungle away from the raga jungle. And about those early years where a lot of stuff is still sort of breakbeat hardcore, but it's also jungle, and it's sort of the darker side. It's not necessarily party music, but it's, you know, the beginning elements of, you know, where, you know, tech step and dark step might take over. But then, you know, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, drum and bass is starting to come in, but it, you know, at this point it's still jungle, and it's still coming out of breakbeat hardcore. So a lot of transition going on. You got Metalheads, Nasty Habits, and a lot of these guys come in, and, you know, Foul Play is here, a guy named Gerald. You got Goldie's very first appearances, Andy C with Origin Unknown, DJ Hype coming in. So a lot of Ed Rush, a lot of early drum and bass veterans coming in and doing their very first jungle tracks. And a lot of these are really classic tracks, and I recommend that you check out that playlist with this. And then this is a really good way to go back, and this is technically the kind of the very first drum and bass set that should be part of that. And really, Darkcore and jungle are sort of two connected concepts, but coming in at once. So anyway, let's get back on target here. And then I had two other sets come out that these are basically one disc additional updates on sort of existing sets we've had out there. One is Deep House, and then one is Tech House. These are new editions, so sort of covering the last decade of editions that have come out. And these are kind of connected in a way. Deep House, often a little bit more lush, slower, more intense deep house, non-commercial. Not the UK deep house, which was a bit more commercial, and that's connected on here. But you know, a lot more the traditional deep house, undercurrent, underground. And then Tech House, sort of combining techno with house, and having a lot more the lush, the really updated sound on that, and keeping that current. You know, so some of the stuff that was around towards the tail end of minimal, just outside of that, and then the last decade. So those two updates are out, and then that's really it for the week. I have a lot of sets coming out. If you take a look at my thread on here, I have all kinds of stuff coming out. Hardcore is something we're going to take, and then finishing up drum and bass. So I hope you like this. If you like the updates, throw a comment in there, and definitely any reblogging you can do is going to help the project a lot. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great week. Take care.